Here is where I get to set my spirit free. Here is where I find my naturality. Where are we going?
As we reflect on the current conditions, we can easily focus on the issues that are happening right now. But as college students, your generation is the generation that we're looking to for innovation, creativity. Um, I would say, I don't know if I said inspiration, but things that you all do really inspire me to be a better administrator, a better counselor, a better, I guess, film producer, so to speak. But how can we learn from some of the things that we're experiencing right now? We're seeing. I think Catherine kind of talked about the fact that hey, uh, we may not be driving as much, but guess what? We're saving the planet with less carbon emissions going in and less of a carbon footprint in certain areas. What kind of things can we learn from this COVID area, this uh, online learning, social distancing? What can we learn from this particular period?
Uh, can I? Okay, for me, I think like since Corona, people are learning to say like no. Like I think maybe like before, I don't know, like before all of this, I don't know what the situation is, but people we just like things happen and it's like okay, well you can like easily maybe if you're not feeling too good about something, you can go somewhere brush it off. But now you have to deal with matters and you have to go back home and you can't really be around people or whatnot. So I'm gonna like use like a situation for me, which is back home. So I'm from Nigeria, by the way. So I never believed that people back home would actually stand up for like things. Like we've had like very bad governance. But I don't know if it's because of Corona and not being able to like really interact with people. But this is the first time in my country that youths stood up and they're doing protests. They're really standing up for what they believe in. Like maybe it's just because now people have been home for so long and they really have to deal with their stuff. They can't go to the club and shake it off. They can't like go to parties. Things are just different. And it's like I can't do this anymore. I've been inside for too long and it's choking me. So people are saying no more. And personally looking at things going on in my country, I'm very proud. Like right now, I don't know if we'll win the protest or if this is gonna be more work, but people are saying no. Even also with the Black Lives Matter movement, people are saying no. Like people have been saying no, but it's just like this year with everything that is going on, people are putting lives on the line regardless of what's going on. They're like, I don't care. It's like maybe I don't know. Like I literally had a relative that was like, "What if this is the end of the world?" I was like, "I don't think so. I don't think so." But it's just it's pushed people to their limits, and it's made people realize like, what do I really have to lose? Like at this point, and I think that's one thing I'm loving from this, and yeah, that's inspiring me in other areas too. To like, wow,
Shabami, what are they saying no to?
like no to things that like okay, let's say well before corona, if you're not enjoying certain things, you can always go to a club, you can do certain things, you don't have restrictions. They don't tell you you can't do this, you have to. I don't know if it's because like now we're more restricted with certain things in certain areas. It's also choking for people because they have to go home and deal with their problems. Like you have to sit back down, you have to quarantine more. Maybe it's being with your thoughts, I don't know. I'm not even sure per se, but it's just like something is just rising within people and people are just getting tired is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's the inner frustration from also staying inside, having less interaction with people, but things are changing and people are standing up for things they believe
Restless.
in.
It sounds
And
like restless.
yeah, and they're channeling it into like energy, like different ways, like standing up for things they believe in. They want reforms in certain areas in different parts of the world. And it's kind of beautiful. That's one thing I would say I'm seeing out of the birth of this corona thing that, I kind of like.
Wow, I like that aspect of, and I'm glad you went into a little bit, Dini, with what does no, like what does that no mean? Because that no can mean something different for everybody else. But to see it happening in an international, um, I guess, perspective, and not having an international impact of that word or that phrase no is a way of being able to recognize, like you said, like I'm restless, I'm sitting here, and I'm tired of seeing some of the things that have been going on. And I'm just thinking about the fact that Black Lives Matter has been like not just happening in America, but it's happening, like you said, in every country, in every part of the globe. And for me, it's just been like, wow, I'm learning to sit down and read a little bit more, to pay more attention, to hear what you all are saying, to be a little more inspiring, to be more attentive to what's happening. I guess from a student perspective, what else can we learn from this period that we're in right
Can I just add to that, Jarvis, that
now?
my takeaway was that what Shabami just said is we're facing ourselves in the mirror. You know, yeah, it's a Michael Jackson song, right? Who's the man in the mirror?
Man in the mirror, yeah.
And yeah, man in the mirror. And we're looking in that mirror and we're saying, I can't run away from this anymore. I can't tolerate the way things were. I'm going to say no to that, and I'm going to get out there and become active. And so I heard that a couple of times today, very, very loudly, and that is be active. Be active for what it is. So you're talking about voting. Voting is an action. And we get to use that to control. I'm saying a lot of different things, but one of the things, and I think Ellen could probably enhance this better than I am, is that a lot of the things that we have right now have put us feeling out of control or out of power. And we're looking for ways to get that power back. And I think Shabami just said that.
Yeah, I like to go off to what Shani was saying because although I don't want to say I necessarily don't like what or like it's disappointing, but I guess the simple fact that like it took a pandemic for us to speak up against this, but at the same time, I don't really care as long as people are speaking up. So I don't care what it took for us to come and speak up because even myself, like I don't know if I like before I really considered myself an activist or anything, but like I definitely knew about police brutality and that Black people have it harder. Black women have it harder for even like pregnancies. Like everything is just harder for the Black person and minorities in general. So I always knew about that. But during quarantine, I definitely, because and like Shabim was saying, definitely because like I couldn't hang out with my friends as much and like have outlets to take my mind off of it. You're in your room and you're sitting down and you're seeing the George Floyd video and Breonna Taylor and you're like, no way, like I can't just be sitting in my room while all of this is going on. So like I've been to like I think 3 protests during the quarantine and like it's just like it's moving and it's like life changing and it's good to know like that we can make change and like we can actually bring about a reform and like just going out there and doing certain things. And I think the good thing too about or what we're going to gain from this pandemic is that like I feel like for the most part we're doing good with what the pandemic has done in this situation. Because like we're going out and we're protesting, there's younger people telling us to go out and vote, and like the way I see it too is like, you know, I always hear people saying like, oh, I don't want to vote because like our vote doesn't count, we're in New York, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, but like, does it hurt to vote? Like, it's not really taking any skin off your nose if you vote. So like, say your vote, and what if your vote does count? Like, say it does count. Like for the people that think it doesn't, like say it does count, then like you just helped with a whole like string of different changes that could come about just from changing one person being in presidency. Because once you change that one person, then the vice president changes, and then other bills and laws can start changing after that, and like even voting for local positions as well. But that's a different topic. But yeah, I just wanted to say like, you know, just like going out and vote, people is like, oh, my vote doesn't count, but it's like it doesn't hurt you to vote either. So I think the pandemic is like definitely making young people focus on more important things and how they can help with their own future and generations after.
I totally agree. And I believe that it also starts at home, like what you were saying, Janelle, earlier about having a migraine or feeling it come on and saying, no, I need to get off the screen. I think the desire to change things is really it's implementing itself. Like, for instance, I can't stand sitting. I do not like sitting. And that's one of the things that I dreaded about Zoom. was having to sit behind a computer for hours and hours each day. But I looked at my own scenario and I thought to myself, okay, what can I change and what can I change about this? And I couldn't change the fact that I needed to be on Zoom because all my classes are on Zoom. That's it, reality. However, I could change my position. So I, instead of spending money on a standing desk, I made my own makeshift one. I got a milk crate from outside. I cleaned it up. I put a towel on it and I put it on my dining room table. My laptop goes over that and I don't have to sit. I don't have to dread my time on Zoom. So that's just an example of how I think in this day and age and this generation, we're really trying to figure out what we don't like and then go take action and change it.
What I'm hearing is what the great thing that came out of the pandemic is we've learned to listen to ourselves and listen to those inner thoughts that we used to push in the back of our head. Like Shalumi said, go party, let's go get drunk in the club, let's go turn up because I don't want to deal with the fact that I don't like police brutality. No, forget police brutality. We're going head to head with police brutality because that's how I feel. And I'm alone with my feelings right now. And that means that my feelings are even more amplified, is what I'm hearing. And to piggyback off of Melanie's thing, like, I love that you're able to see the positive in it. Like, you made your own desk. And I think the part about Zoom that I like is I can have class wherever I want to have class because I bought an iPad, so like, and I got the data put on it. So I can go have class in the city. I can have class at the park. I can have class at the bowling alley. I can have class in the supermarket. I can have class in the car. And I think that's the one part about it that I like. The one part about online learning that I like is that I'm able to access it everywhere. And I think that that's something that we can use in the future is, can we make things more accessible? Why do things have to be so set in stone that you can only access it at this one time in this one place? It doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah. So something I heard yesterday too was for my athletic students out there or anybody else who's just looking for, play tennis, because you're way far apart. You're running, you're hitting a ball, you're competing, and it's a pretty, and you don't have to wear a mask to play tennis. So why are you laughing at me, Nia?
And you can hit something.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, but I don't have hand-eye coordination.
Oh, right. Oh, tell everybody what it is you star in.
I play volleyball.
We're going to edit that out. We're not going to put that on.
Oh, no. Oh, yes, we are. That's hilarious.
I mean, you can ask my coach. I miss the ball sometimes. It is what it is.
Hey. We're gonna give you a virtual hug on that one, my sister. All right. I think Haria had her hand up, and then Catherine.
Yes, I really like what like the points all you guys made. I think like one of the big things that came out of this pandemic is like learning and just like activism and like activism of just like taking action in like whatever it is like aspect in your life. Like Melanie said, you know, I don't like sitting, so let me change this. Like let me not just like complain about the situation, but okay, what can I do to fix it? Like how can I better the experience? And also what Nia said about like the flexibility, like Zoom gives us options, you know, like you can go outside for class, whereas like if you was in person, you'd be like in this classroom in this space, but you can, you know, enjoy nature. You can like, there's so many options that you can do. And I think we can just like learn from it and kind of like just take the positive out of this experience and make things kind of more positive, which is also something I think that like we forget that we can have fun, we can switch it up. Like that is an option. You have to take that action, which I think is really important.
Yeah.